Okay. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon to everyone that is watching us tonight. I'm so sure that this event is so much anticipated, and I'm so happy that it is finally coming live now. So we are live, and today we are going to talk about patience. Okay, how to develop patience with our kids in order to build a strong bond with them. My name is Ma Ikonde, and I am here to inspire parenting. And I am so pleased and so honored to welcome the amazing Mommy Marlene Kova. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you did. Cover. Very good. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. In fact, we are so honored to have you in our community, and we are so ready to learn from you and to actually gain knowledge from you. So, parents, I hope you're ready. Take your notebook and let us get right into this event, okay? How we as parents can develop patience with our kids. You know, Marlene, in my setting here, it is a very it's a very strange thing. I mean, patience is something that we just lose it with kids. I mean, we go as far as putting authority, hitting, and all the like. And if you tell a parent that be patient, parent will be like, patient, why? So we really need this tip, these parenting tools that will help us to see the importance of patience and to really see that, this is what is needed for my kid to listen.
Mm, mhm. Yes.
So, so over to you, mommy.
So, it's interesting because the majority of us are parents, prior generations. The model was spare versions of spare the rod, spoil the child. Children are to be seen, not heard. So
Yeah.
your generation, the younger generation today, you are really truly trailblazers on the planet.
Oh
You
wow.
you were raised with one way of parenting, and yet you're questioning it. You're saying, "Wow, I don't feel good hitting my child. I don't feel good screaming at my child." So anyone who is on this call today, I just want to commend you because you're listening to your inner heart and your inner voice, and you're saying, maybe I can do things differently. So, first of all, congratulations to everyone. The one thing that is quite firmly established is the greatest gift you can give your children is a growth mindset. So, an example of a growth mindset is, and Carol Dweck is famous for making it popular. So, I'll give her Dr. Carol Dweck. A growth mindset, the difference is maybe you have a fifth grader and he says, "Oh, I'm bad at math." A growth mindset would say that's a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset would say, I have low competencies in math today, but if I study,
Mm.
and if I practice, and if I engage an inspiring educator, I can increase my competencies in math. And that's actually a more accurate statement, right? So,
It
what
makes all
we
the difference.
Yes, yes, to have a growth mindset. So, again, I commend everybody on the call today having a growth mindset. The good news is we can increase our competencies in social emotional literacy at every age, at 10, at 20, at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60.
Oh, that's great.
So, the one thing I did when I was parenting my children, and I felt I lost my temper with 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 my teenager.
It's
She
not a
was
surprise. I mean,
yes.
it happens
Well, this is
many times.
this is in anything we do, learning entails error, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we're learning math. That's what learning is. Learning, if you know it, then you don't error. But if you're learning it,
yeah,
you're going to error. So we will all error as we're learning social emotional literacy. And one day my 14-year-old was headed out the door to school, and one rule I had about for my children was breakfast is very important. Break the fast, important meal of the day. Your brain's not going to work at school if you don't have something in your stomach. But my daughter's been a little long, getting ready. She's running out the door. And all I had made her was a protein shake. It wasn't a big breakfast. It would have taken her 2 seconds to drink her protein shake. Okay. And I'd made it. And she said, I don't have time. And I said, Ari Bree, you are getting 4.0 out of European history, but you are flunking personal care 101. And then I slammed the door. And then I'm standing there, and that voice inside our heads, it says, well, of course she is, Marlaine. She has a mad woman wearing a bathrobe screaming at her for an educator. And I realized, wow, I'm her teacher in diet and personal care. And I was standing there in a bathrobe screaming at her. So that was my aha moment. I said, wow, I need to look at how I'm teaching my children these skills and improve the process. So I sat down at my kitchen table and I wrote down things that parents are traditionally expected to teach their children, such as personal care, right? Sleep, diet, emotional literacy, if we're yelling at our children, which I was yelling at my daughter. Environmental literacy, financial literacy. There are so many skills that society has put under the umbrella of parenting for parents to teach. But here's the big problem. Very few of us were ever formally educated in these skills ourselves. So we can't teach what we don't know. So when I sat down and I created the life skills report card for my children to change raise the bar on the curriculum, I realized I actually wasn't highly competent myself in many of these skills, and that I would need to learn with my children. And so the first thing I did is put down, most of us have been handed the behavioral lens. So if you're wearing glasses, you're looking at life through a behavioral lens. And what does this lead us to? We will say, oh, my child is behaving, or my child is misbehaving, right? The two polars. And what do? If our child is misbehaving, we assume ill intent, right? They're trying to make me angry. And we feel justified punishing them, right? That's the behavioral lens as it plays out in parenting. It just simply does. It has the two polars. So what I invite everyone to do first and foremost is take off the behavioral lenses, put them down, and pick up educational lenses. Respect that your child is learning. You're learning self-regulation. You're learning patience. Your child is learning self-regulation and patience.
That's so
what? Yeah, that's a very to start there and respect your child is a critical skill, which they're going to use every day of their life throughout the entirety of their life. And you, here's the good news, get to learn with them.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
We learn with them. How old are your children? I hear your babies in the background, Ma. How old are your children?
Yes, I have two toddlers actually. My first daughter is 2 years, 5 months, and my second son is 1 year. So,
oh my goodness, so young.
Yeah, so I'm still at early stage, And yeah, I feel a difficulty when they do something, they behave in a way that doesn't suit me. My first reaction is always like to come, but later on, there's always that voice that comes up to say, okay, just calm down. You need to react consciously. You need to teach them rather than just yelling and shouting. You need to let them know that this is wrong and this is not wrong. So that's really a big skill. It's a big responsibility.
Yes, and it's actually very normal. When we're learning to ride a bike, we fall over first, right? It's completely normal for children to have temper tantrums, to be off balance emotionally. This is how they're going to learn. They're going to be off, and we can be here as facilitators, and we ourselves are going to be off balance sometimes. Maybe we're tired. So many things impact our capacity to self-regulate. If we're hungry, if we're tired, if we're angry, child comes in at the wrong time and asks something. No, I don't have that, So many things affect how we respond in a given moment. And it's the learning, it's the recognition first of our emotion. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? But just know we will all, some people are very, very calm. They never lose their temper. That's great. But for the other 99.99% of humans, we tend to lose our temper sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And that is part of the learning. It doesn't mean we're bad. It means we're human. And it means, so then we can recognize, okay, I was off center. I screamed and yelled. I made my child, or, my actions caused my child to feel unsafe. And the most important thing all of us need, adults included, is we need to feel safe. So when we're screaming and yelling, our children can feel unsafe, right? So we actually need to break it down. We need to look at it first and foremost as learning and respect it as a skill and acknowledge all the stages of learning. Screaming isn't bad. It's low competency, right? It's not bad. It's where you start when you're really frustrated. One of the things that I found, and I'm speaking today, I want everyone to know, not as an expert. I am not an expert in parenting. I am not an expert in anything. I'm just a student, just like everyone else. And I have found compassionate education by professionals immensely valuable. In fact, life altering. So I'll just share a few things today that really were game changers for me. There's so much to cover, but just a few things that just totally changed the game for me in my own learning self-regulation.
Yeah, that's really, really important in parenting, self-regulation. Okay, thank you so much. And I hope that, parents are really getting it. And yeah, okay, you can ask your questions if you have them, and just all your practical questions, to handle situation that you may be facing with your kids. And Marlaine Cover is here to answer your questions. Okay. So Marlaine, we've talked about self-regulation. We talk about, I love the video that you sent to me about understanding the brain function of the child in order to know how to respond. And these are really, really great tools that helps us to be patient during those moments where we feel like we need to react in a way that won't be helpful for no one. That's really two great powerful tools for parents right now.
Yes, that was one huge game changer for me personally, and not just in my relationship with my children, but with my relationship with my husband, with my relationship with everybody. My husband, he's very, very smart. He has 2 doctorates. He was raised with boys, 3 brothers. I was raised with 4 sisters. He boils over, gets overwhelmed quicker than me. Probably because I'm used to lots of chaos, right? It was how we were. But so and I would think, I would judge him harshly. I would think, oh, you're being grumpy, right? And I would be mad at him, which is a lot like pouring gasoline on a fire. If somebody is upset, yelling at them is gasoline on the fire. And it was so humbling for me when I started learning about the brain, when I started learning about self-regulation, and I realized that for years, I was making my husband's learning curve in self-regulation more difficult by judging him harshly, pouring gasoline, being angry at him. This is exactly the opposite of what he needed. He was struggling self-calming. So as soon as I learned, oh, okay, this is what's happening. He's feeling out of control, upset. Let's create some calm. What can we
Yeah.
do to create calm? It was such a game changer. But core to this was a lesson I learned from Dr. Dan Siegel. And Dan Siegel is a great educator in the arena of emotional literacy. He has his doctorate in psychology, I believe, psychiatry or psychology. I may get it wrong. I love people that come up with something super simple. And he came up with something very easy for every parent to learn that helps us understand how our brains function. So, and what he does is he simply uses a hand. So if you take your hand and you look at your wrist, so the wrist would be your spinal cord coming up to your brain, okay, your spinal cord. And then the palm part of your hand, the lower palm part, that it has a fancy name. It's called amygdala. But let's just call it one. Let's just say this is the first part of your brain. It's the most basic. If you are afraid, what are the three things that you typically do? Fight,
Yeah.
flight, or
Yeah.
freeze, right? We have in my
Yeah.
neighborhood, we actually have bears. So we have bears in my neighborhood, and we have black bears. So black bears are actually sort of friendly. They're not like the grizzly bears that attack people. So if you don't bother a bear, the bear usually won't bother you, right? And
Mm.
they walk all around our yards and everything. The mountain. I live on a mountain. So a week ago, there was a man. He was walking his dog, and he walked past Mama Bear. She has 3 teenage cubs now. They're hungry. They're breaking into a bear box. They're trying to get food. And he happens to walk past her. Now, normally she wouldn't attack him. But this day, she had 3 hungry teenagers. She's trying to get food for them, and he walked by at the wrong time. And
Oh, yeah.
she took off after him. She started running after the man with his dog. And what did he do? Amygdala, emotion, right? He ran.
Yeah.
He had a bear coming after him. So he ran. Well, that is not the right thing to do with a bear. With a black bear, the right thing to do is be calm and maybe put your arms up so you're bigger than the bear, speak calmly. So initially he ran. The bear was faster. So he turned around and he remembered to stand his ground. He turned around, put his arms up, and said, no, no. And the bear did not actually attack him. But that's just a really good example. You know, this part of our brain developed to keep us alive. And we need it today. We need the amygdala. We need to be safe. So safety is number one. Again, the part of the brain is called the amygdala: flight, fight, or freeze. So and guess what? All of that happens without our thinking. We're not even thinking. It's instinctual. Had he thought, he wouldn't have started running.
That's right.
Because you don't run from a black hole. You wouldn't have run. But we're all human that way. And actually, it's estimated that 90% of our thoughts and actions are based on the activity in the amygdala. So here's the cool thing that Dr. Siegel did. In explaining our brains and how they function, the amygdala, this would be your child not feeling safe, right? Upset, not getting what they want. Mommy isn't being nice to me. That's all it takes, right? Mommy's being mean. I'm unhappy. Let me have a fit. They're not safe. You're not meeting their needs. So they're upset. Then you have number two. So number one is the palm. Number two is the thumb that crosses over. That's the limbic brain. But let's just call it number two. It comes in next, not first. First is the emotion. Second, this one helps you self-regulate your emotions, the limbic. And then number three, and this actually looks like a brain.
Brain, yeah.
Dr. Daniel, you can share the link I shared earlier. It actually looks like the human brain. And it's really important to understand how the brain works, because very often this part here, the prefrontal cortex, that's our rational part. Well, very often parents are asking children to function from here. And guess what? They're here. They're still at number one. They can't even, in fact, when this is inflamed, when this is on fire, you cannot access your prefrontal. It would be like talking to a speeding train. Imagine a train going by, right? And you're going, "Hi, train. Can we have a conversation?" And the train's like, no, I'm out of here. That's children when they're having a temper tantrum. They're not going to listen, So the first thing is they need to feel calm. And you may be upset too, right? Like I remember my daughter would have temper tantrums and I would get upset. So I read this one book, Rudolf Dreikwer's Children the Challenge, and he said, you need to calm yourself. So I began this overnight. Instead of telling Ari she needs to go to her room and have a timeout, which was popular back then. This is 30 years ago. You need to go have a timeout. You're the problem, right? You're the problem. Instead, I learned from Dr. Rudolf Dreikwer's to say, Mommy is feeling upset. I'm feeling upset. I need to go self-calm. And you can ask them, would you like to self-calm with me? And they may say, no, I'm not. Say, that's okay. Mommy's going to go self-calm. And then, so that has to be first. No rationalizing. You shouldn't get mad at me. It's not about should or right or wrong or good or bad behavior. It's about a child feeling afraid. And the first thing you have to do is self-calm. And so by just taking ourselves and sitting down, one of the best things we can do is simply breathe, right? We breathe in.
Nice breathe.
We can breathe in to the count of 4. There's all kinds of breathing techniques, but they're fabulous to practice. So you bring it into the count of 4. Maybe you hold it to the count of 5. Exhale to the count of 6, and you can feel your body calm. Everybody right now can do it. Immediately you calm. So that's first. That's number 1. You have to calm the fire. You can't talk to the brain until the fire is calmed. So that's the most important, when we're dealing with our children, simply to know we can learn with them. We are learning self-regulation, and set the example for them. Did I lose you, Ma? Are we frozen?
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
Okay. Not sure where we froze, Ma. Did I lose you? Oh, we're freezing. Technology is such a blessing. Here we are speaking on 2 different continents, Africa and North America.
Yes, I think you lost me. My network actually. Yeah.
Ma is in Ma, you're in Cameroon, and I'm in the U.S. in California.
Our network is really bad. Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful that no matter where we are on the planet, we all have the same homework? We all have the homework. And it's interesting, Ma, when a child struggles with math, We say the math is difficult, right? Math
Yeah.
is. When a child struggles with self-regulation, we say the child is difficult. And that is our error. That's where we error. The child is struggling with the skill of self-regulation in the very same manner that they struggle with math. And what's the solution? If a child's struggling with math, what do? Do we punish them? No. Do we yell at them? I mean, any of us trying to do something and somebody yells at us?
You just
Does
freeze.
our brain works worse. It does not help us to be yelled at when we're trying to do something. And everybody knows that. And it doesn't help a child either. It makes it harder.
That's right.
So the first thing is safety. The first thing is let's create safety. Safety for you, the babies. Let's help them self-calm. Safety for ourselves. Let's help ourselves self-calm. So that's step number one. And I'll tell you, I have a granddaughter now. So my daughters are 35 and 32. And I have two granddaughters. They're age 4.
Wow.
They're age 4 and 3. And my 4-year-old, when she was 3, Mom, when she was 3 years old, you know what she said to her mother? Her mother got upset with her daddy. You know, snapped at her daddy.
Yeah.
And she said, Mama, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and count to 4. Take a deep breath. She's 3 years old, and she's reminding her mommy how to self-regulate. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah, this is very simple. This is not rocket science. Babies can do this. Babies can learn it, and they can help you learn it. They can help you learn the skill of self-calming.
That's right. That's so beautiful. Oh my God.
It's so beautiful when they do it. I mean, I giggled so much when she did that. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, we're on the right track here.
Oh my God, when they learn it that early, it is so cool. And that is really amazing because it actually shows the power of us modeling the right thing that we want our kids to do. You know, kids will learn it from us. We're their models.
Yes, and I'm going to I'm a little different in the educational realm. I'm a little different on this one term, and that term is role modeling. And I respect that the majority of my peers, probably 98% of them, say that role modeling is the high bar of education, right? What you do is more important than what you say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what everybody maintains. What I have an invitation. My invitation is to consider that role modeling is the low bar. If you just do what you do and your child watches you, there's no proactive education there, right? You're just doing what you do, your child's watching you. So let's imagine for a moment that I'm a piano player and I tell you, watch me, and then do what I did. How good of a piano player would I be? I wouldn't be a very good piano. If I'm a pilot on a plane and I say, just watch me. I was actually flying on a helicopter and the pilot was kind of old. And I was a little nervous. I said, oh my gosh, like, what if he has a heart attack? And then I have to fly the helicopter. Like, what if I have to do that? So I really didn't enjoy the helicopter ride because I was so afraid of him having a heart attack. And I'm watching him like with the gears and like, what if I have to land this helicopter? Watching somebody is not great education. Better education.
Oh my God.
Better education is to actively teach them. Share with them. Oh, yes. When I was first learning this was difficult. When I was first learning piano, this was hard. Learn with them. Be proactive. Be teachers. You are teachers. So own that role of a teacher and ask yourself, what is a quality educational process? It is not role modeling. It's so fascinating to me that people consider role modeling the high bar in teaching many life skills, such as emotional literacy. Just watch mom and dad do what they did. But it's not the high bar in any other skill. It's the low bar. So I really want to invite everybody to raise their terminology, recognize role modeling as the low bar. If I do nothing proactive and my children just watch me, yes, they're going to repeat what I did. So barring no formal education, my children watching me will do as I did. But here's the good news. I knew I didn't have high competency emotional literacy skills. So I endeavored to learn and took courses and learned with my children. I'm still learning with my children. I'm still learning with my children because their challenges change every day, right? They're married, they're having babies. There's always new challenges in life. So we need to be lifelong learners. But that's one thing, the role modeling, I want us to retire that as the high bar. I want everybody to recognize that as the low bar it is. It's the low bar. You are divinely raising the bar. You're having a conversation today. You're inviting input on how did you, Mama Marlaine, who did you learn from? What did you find valuable? What changed the game for you? And I love that you're teaching, many people, because we can't simply rely, we don't say, oh, if your mother didn't read, you won't learn to read. And this is the mission of our Parenting 2.0 group, is to say all children can learn these skills, and they need to learn them because they're using them every day of their life throughout the entirety of their life. So let's teach all children, not merely the fortunate few who have parents who are attending this forum with you. I'm very grateful for everybody. But remember, go out and teach in the schools, teach all children, because some children aren't going to be fortunate to have you for a parent. But all children can, these are teachable skills, and all children can learn them. And then they'll be different parents, right? When they've learned them. Oh, we disconnected. It says I'm still in the show. Maybe Ma is coming back in. I don't know how this functions. Okay, I'll keep talking. Anyway, I just want to commend again all the parents, if this is still recording and still airing, that are attending this and that are open to learning. Ma, you're back?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so proud of us. We're sticking with it. Yeah, we're sticking with it. This is learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm learning a lot, and oh my God, this is so amazing. Okay, Marlene, it is so great. I mean, you have said a lot of great things, those great parenting tools, those great tips that are going to help parents, to handle their kids. And there are really a lot of advantages to this. The child equally learn, and we equally build that strong bond, that relationship with them that is lasting, and there's really that connection.
Yes, and we can tell our children, learn with your children. You can tell your children, when I was little, my parents hit me. They thought that was love. They thought that was keeping me safe. They intended well. They were not trying to be bad parents. They were trying to be good parents. But now I'm a parent and I'm learning new ways of doing things, and learn with your child. And when you error, when you lose your temper, own it. Say, say, I lost my temper. Now they can learn from you. To respect, there is a learning curve involved. This is very important. Error is not bad, it's part of learning. So we
Yeah.
want them to not feel shame. We want them to own it. I was feeling out of control. Okay, now what? So first safety, breathe, self-calm. And once we are calm, then we can have a conversation. Maybe what do we do
Sure.
next time? One nice thing to do is to establish a safe place. Children usually have, maybe they have a teddy bear they love, something that
Yeah.
comforts them, a blanket. Maybe it's a corner of their room. And so tell them in advance, everybody needs a safe place. Everybody. Mommy needs a safe place. Daddy needs a safe place to come. So in advance, have a safe place. Where do you feel safe? Where do you feel loved, comfortable, safe? And then invite them if they're losing their temper. Should we go to our safe place? Do you want mommy to come with you? Or mommy's going to go to her safe place, right? You go to your safe place. 4 minutes, then we come back. But that's very important to prioritize. Everybody, safety first. It really is. You have to have it.
That's right. It's very important to keep your emotions in place and checked.
Yeah, emotions are okay. They're telling us, right? I'm not safe. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's good because we do need to be safe to learn. We need to be safe. We need to be calm. And then our brains work best. So that is number one. Number one is feel safe. How do we
Safe.
create safety? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Oh my God, I'm learning a lot.
I will
And
say,
I hope,
I told you I would share gems, right? Things that I found really, really, really valuable in my
yeah.
course. Being a student with everybody else on the planet, I'm not an expert in these, but another thing I found hugely valuable was daily gratitude practice.
Wow.
The most important relationship we have is the one with ourselves. We talk to ourselves all day long. We talk to ourselves even when we're sleeping, right? And I'm a bit of a nonconformist. I don't really like to do what other people do. Um, so everybody was doing gratitude practice, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. I just have a ornery streak in me. But I was realizing I'm not grateful enough. So I decided every day to write in a journal. And some days I wasn't grateful. I really wasn't. I wanted to kill my husband. I wanted to strangle my children. I really was not grateful. I was angry. But I forced myself every day to write in my journal, practice gratitude. And within about 6 weeks, things really began to change. Oh my goodness. My attitude, even if I was shopping or stuck in traffic, or I just developed more softness, more appreciation. Times when I would be upset, I was more loving. It is a complete and total game changer. Like literally, if there's anything everybody starts tomorrow, keep a gratitude journal. You will be shocked. It doesn't only change how you look at things, it will change the people you attract into your life. Because we are energy, and you're literally choosing a channel. Just like you choose music you like, right? You don't choose music you don't like. But how often do we speak to ourselves in a way we wouldn't choose that channel? So you can be intentional. Choose the channel of gratitude. Spend time there every single day, even 15 minutes. You're going to be shocked. You'll be shocked. It will monumentally change your life.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, it really blew my mind. I I'm still in awe how much practicing gratitude changed my life. It was the best life skill I ever intentionally sat myself down. And again, I wasn't good initially. I mean, some days I couldn't even think what I wanted to be grateful for. So I would say, oh, I'm grateful for air. I'm grateful I'm breathing. I'm grateful my hands. I'm grateful for my hands. You know, just anything you can think of. But you get better at it. You get a lot better.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's a very powerful gem.
Yeah, I would literally say my life is overflowing with blessings today. And I really believe it is in very much part of being grateful for the small things. Somehow it just attracts more blessings. Just does.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
And you're a great example of the blessings.
Oh my God. I mean, I should be the one more grateful, I think. I'm so grateful to have you on this show tonight. Really.
Well, it's
So
definitely my.
so mommy Marlene.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What is the most popular language in Cameroon?
It's French.
French. I
Yeah, but
thought,
we have both language, English and French.
okay. We do not yet, this is amazing to me. We do not yet have the life skills report card translated into French. It is in English, and anybody can just Google life skills report card and find the English version of it to help them, you know, really make that shift from behavioral lens to educational lens. We're learning these things and raise the bar on their curriculum. But now I'm inspired. After this call, we need to get the French version on there. So we will get a French translation. AI, of course, is making many things very easy. Yes, translations are one. So you have inspired me to get the French version of the
Oh,
life report card on.
oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, the French speakers. Yeah, so mommy Marlene, you gave us the safety gem, self-regulation, gratitude, practice.
Mhm. The
I
power of
think,
our breath, the power of simply breathing,
yeah,
the
breathing
power of the breath.
techniques.
It's so simple. So people often don't do it, but it works. It works.
Oh my God. So thank you so much. Do you have other gems? You said,
Oh, oh my goodness. You know, I think, you know, shifting from the behavioral lens to the educational lens, you know, recognizing instead of disparaging the person, one thing we often do, I'll share one thing. Absent professional education in the life skills arena, such as emotional literacy, most children are not taught emotional literacy every year in school. If I had a magic wand, they would be taught emotional literacy formally every year in school. It's that important. And there's so many great things to learn. But absent it, two institutions have dominated dialogue. One is the medical institution. So we often talk about people healing, right? Oh, they need to
yeah,
heal. Or we need to fix something. We need to repair something. Or so the medical community and then also the military community. We use terms like you're a victim, right?
yeah,
We use medical terms like toxic. So we have a lot of labels, okay? And the problem with labels is it is a whole person term for something small. Let me give you an example. People, even with the PhDs in human development, are calling children bullies. Bullies.
Yeah.
The term bully is a label. It's a derogatory label. It is labeling the whole child in a negative manner for a low competency in a critical skill. The difference is, the shift to make is a child who bullies others. So it's person first terminology. That is a child who is struggling with interpersonal skills, right? Recognize them as struggling. But if we label them, then what happens? Then we punish them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the child's bullying. Now we're going to punish him, kick him out of school. We don't throw, if throwing somebody out of school because they're struggling learning, that's the worst possible thing we can do.
Yeah.
So inviting people to use people first terminology. And I work on this myself. I still had a couple terms, a couple labels that I was using. I lost the term. I don't call anyone a terrorist anymore, ever. I don't call anyone any label. But labels are used a lot. And it's our effort to say, you're different than me, right? I'm different than you. And now I don't have to treat you like a fellow human, right?
Yeah.
So really efforting to use person first, a child who is struggling with what? Social skills, communication skills, self-regulation. Okay, now the solution's different. It's not going to be punishment. So that's what's really going on. That's the real struggle. They're learning. So that's one thing, or one additional thing that I found really valuable. Respecting everyone is learning, and we're just at different levels of competencies. We don't think that a child learning addition is a bad child, right? And then the child learning algebra is a good child. We know you have to learn addition before you can learn algebra.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same way with social emotional literacy skills. It's the same way. You're going to learn this, and then this. You're going to learn number one. It's important. And then number two, number three. You're going to learn to respect how the human body functions, how the brain functions.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Marlaine, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, there is someone's actually asking.
Yes.
Okay, there are two questions actually. So how the environment of growth influences the style of child upbringing, and how to create a mini environment in which your child's upbringing can be modeled.
So the first question is regarding environment that your child is exposed to outside of your home.
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a really good question, right? Because children are influenced. I mean, they're always learning, whether they're with us, when they're with their peers. And they need to be, because the world is many people.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as you can take what they are exposed to at school, what they're learning, and help them learn what is happening here. Some people want to just protect their children. Don't be with these children. Don't be with the children who swear. Don't be with the children who hit others. They want to keep their children in a little greenhouse. Well, there's no greenhouse for adults. They're going to need to live in the world with adults who swear, with adults who hit. They need to learn people are struggling, and they need to learn how to interrelate with all people at all levels of competencies. You want resilient, compassionate children. My mother raised me with the phrase, face your fear and your fear goes away. Face your fear. Children are amazing. One thing I did with my children when they were in grade school, they were coming home and they were kind of complaining, right? Each day, something didn't happen the way they wanted it. And I just wanted a shift of energy. So I said, listen, go to school tomorrow. I want you to come home and tell me, what did you give your day? How did you make your day better? And it was so great because, my daughter would come home and say, oh, I'd say, what did you give your day? She said, oh, Peter lost his retainer he threw it away with his lunch in the trash can. And he was crying because it's very expensive. And so she went and helped go through the trash can and helped Peter find his retainer. And, kids can be making fun of you. Oh, you're in the trash, digging through the trash can. But she felt good. She felt proud of helping this young boy. So we can give attention, giving attention when a difficult situation arises. What choice did they make? And having a conversation about it. This is homework. This is good stuff. I don't know if that answered the question. Did it answer the question about environment?
Yes.
Okay.
That's really useful. Yeah, because things that they'll face in the future. That's beautiful. So we are 6 minutes away from this event. It is so lovely. I have noted a lot of points, and if there's one thing that every parent that is watching this video should get home with today and now is go get a journal and start gratitude practice, okay? And come back with the results. We would love to get testimonies of how it has been for you. And personally, I would do that myself. So, Marlaine, thank you so much. I think we've come to the end. If there's one last word that you can give to parents or even soon-to-be parents, or kids, what would that be?
We are miraculous. We are miraculous. And it is a fact that our brains, the way they're designed, they favor fear thoughts. And that's to try to keep us safe. So know that your brain has a bias towards fear because it wants to be safe. But really, in our modern day, we are so miraculous. And if we just keep learning and we learn with our children, we begin to discover how miraculous we are.
Oh my God. That's so beautiful. What a great way to end this event. Thank you so much, Mommy Marlaine Kuba. I hope to meet you one day.
Oh, we will. We're coming. Our 6th international conference is in Africa. It's in Cape Town. So you're going to be there with me in Cape Town, South Africa, October 2024, Ma. Put it on your calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Human hugs.
That'll be lovely. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. I'm so happy. So parents, we have come to the end of this event. If you love this video, kindly give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in our next video.